Hi everybody, welcome back to Dmitri Shostakovich and the Second Waltz. But not before we give a little bit of background what I've found out about this. This was composed as part of Shostakovich's Suite for Charity Orchestra Waltz No. 2 and is one of the composer's most famous works. The suite was composed post-1956 and was subsequently used as part of the soundtrack for the Russian film The First Helicon. The suite itself is comprised of 8 small movements, all of which are scored for a large orchestra, and the variety element is supported by Shostakovich's addition of a full saxophone section, a celeste and 2 pianos. In the composer's notes at the start of the score, Shostakovich writes that the movements can be played in any order, and they do not all have to be played in one performance. Now you're going to hear the full suite here, and it's about 6 or several minutes. Waltz No. 2 is certainly the most famous from the suite, largely due to affiliation with the First Helicon. This particular composition by Shostakovich is in ABA form, with the outer section being firmly rooted in C minor. Throughout the short work, Shostakovich moves between EB major and C minor, relative major-minor keys, which creates a certain unsteadiness to the piece. The music itself, beginning with the march-like 3/4 accompaniment from the drums and strings, the tempo and character of the piece is soon set. The main melody is first played by the alto saxophone, which highlights the variety aspect of the orchestration. The timbre of the alto saxophone with the sparse march accompaniment creates the signature uneasy atmosphere that the waltz is so well known for. On face value, this could be read as a romantic waltz. However, the dichotomy between the lightness and the darkness within the music is what gives the waltz the edge. Shostakovich's use of turned percussion and bells accentuates the alluring drama that is created as the main melody is passed around the orchestra. The role of the strings is either accompaniment and keeping the and the pa rhythm driving, or they are the tonality into which the major with the long flow melodic phases. The role of the winds sees them accentuating the melodic structure and using their extreme ranges to sound similar to the tuned percussion. Now the brass takes on both melodic and solo roles. The trombone solo in the middle of this piece of work is perhaps one of the most sought after classical trombone solos. The addition of the trumpets at the end of this solo piece, highlights some of the comedic readings you could take from the piece. The unrelenting bass line is prominent throughout the work, with the double basses and the snare drum being the consistent parts of this line. The construction of this work, though, is certainly reminiscent of a toy soldier march, and the lightness of the melody creates even more a haunting beauty within. Although only a short waltz, this work has stood up to the test of time, and its immediate success has not wavered even in the modern day of 2022. Sit back, enjoy. There'll be a little few tidbits straight after, but not until we savored the masterpiece that is Dmitri Shostakovich's The Second Waltz. Now that was worth listening to. That woke me up. That got me going. And I have a huge thank you to a woman that you'll see in the video just down there in the corner. And her website is, I had the website. It's on the original video. It's actually on the original video, but I'll put it there. And it's, the last word is romanticism. And she compiled the images for that particular video, which I have to applaud her. And it's no wonder it's got over 18 million views. But Dimitri, just, it doesn't take away from Dimitri's waltz. It doesn't take away from the fact that I can see why so many people who play the trombone want to do the solo part in that. It's got everything, and it's really, really the kind of music that I love listening to, especially when I'm cleaning my apartment. Trust me, I have the classical music on. It floats around the apartment. Even my dog savors it and rests. There's only a few more facts to give you to this before I wrap up. Dmitri Shostakovich, Waltz No. 2, quotes from the composer. When a man is in despair, he says, it means that he still believes in something. That is very, very true. If they cut off both hands, I will compose music anyway holding the pen in my teeth. Remember, the arts went through an awful time in Russia where at one point they didn't want the arts to blossom. And then there was a whole big role reversal where now Russia backs the arts, sees the importance of artists like Dmitri and lots of artists, and supports the arts in general, performers, everything, festivals, shows, everything in Russia. But he said here at the time, what can be considered human emotions? Surely not only lyricalism, sadness, tragedy. Doesn't laughter also have a claim to that lofty title? I want to fight for the legitimate right of laughter in serious music. Well, Dmitri, that's why I moved during your music there, because I felt it warrants that. It's what it expresses within me, the love for waltzes, operatic music, opera singers, all of it. That inner deep soul music that just I don't listen to often enough. But in my channel over the coming months, there'll be a lot more classical music from some of the greats, just like Dmitri. And finally he says, keep your eyes wide shut while listening to this waltz. I have to say, they were wide shut whilst listening. I floated, I don't know where. And it's just the kind of thing, again, the world needs. We need more healing music like this. So some wonderful quotes. And also the very famous André Rieu. He takes Waltz No. 2, taken from the second jazz suite, is another staple in André Rieu's waltz repertoire and live shows. Not all of them, but it's part of the whole process of what he does. And he put in André Rieu's top 10 waltzes of all time, Dmitri was number 2. What was number 1 will be coming very soon. But until then, I hope you've enjoyed the bio. I hope you've enjoyed a memory. And I will just try quickly before this video ends to do credit where credit's due. And just give you the name of this woman's website. I think it's very important. I hope none of this video comes up and it's just get it to here and we just pause it. I just want it, she has to do justice for those images. And it'll come. I knew that would happen. And it happens again, and I don't know why. And I just want to do justice to the channel Canal del Romanticismo. And the lady that was in the end of that video, in the pictorial, who actually, we can see just there in the corner down below, who put the images together. So thank you so much. She has to have credit as well. Thank you for listening. Take care for now. Talk to you very, very soon.